All right, guys, man, sober to peace. So listen, like I said, I've been going through the New Testament for the guys that are just tuning in. Currently, I'm at the book of Acts, but I remember something very, very significant from the book of Mark, right? Chapter 2, verse 22. Very, very interesting stuff, and I think that this is something that could be helpful to people that are not necessarily religious, trying to do better, that's trying to be more disciplined, that's trying to refine themselves, that's trying to ascend over the things of the world, which is really, really baseless in nature and have inherently no value, right? So guys, like, comment, subscribe. We're gonna get into it right now. So like I said, I'm gonna read a verse from the book of Mark, chapter 2, verse 22, and it's from Jesus Christ. Basically, Jesus was speaking in parables yet again to the people that were listening to him. He had the disciples around him and the multitude. Remember, Jesus, if for the people that don't really know the Bible and just understand Jesus Christ on a basic level, this guy basically spoke in parables. What he did is that he always spoke with sentences and phrases that had double, triple entendres. The single entendre, which is like the first tier, is for the regular people, the people that understand like just things literally, right? The double and triple entendres are for the ones that are renewed in spirit, that are seeking renewal in spirit, believe in Jesus Christ, believe in God, the Father that sent him, and believe in a higher way, right? That understand, they were able to understand the tier 2, tier 3 of what he was saying. So let's see, what level are you guys at, right? Let's get into it right now. So this is what Jesus said. And no one puts new wine into old wineskins, for the wine would burst the wineskins, and the wine and the skins would both be lost. Therefore, new wine calls for new wineskins. I read this and I'm just like, this guy, he just doesn't miss. I'm like, Jesus always says in every single situation, when he was caught by by Judas and the multitude, when he was being spoken to by Pontius Pilate, when he was being spoken to on the cross, this guy always has something so clever and poetic to say. Jesus Christ was seriously on another level. What does that mean? You can't put new wine into old wineskins. Not only, there's a religious aspect to it, which was, he was basically talking to the Pharisees and the remnants of the Old Testament, the old way, you know, the way of Moses, Abraham, Isaac, David, Solomon, that only adhered to that old way. And when Jesus said, not only claimed, but he said that I am from the Father and I'm here to have a new testament with you, to everyone that did believe, and to everyone that doesn't believe, and to the Gentiles, the people that are not of the special people, who sinned against God constantly because they love other gods, they love sexual pleasures, they love gratifications of the flesh, all that kind of stuff. So there's the religious side of that, which is he is new wine, and he's trying to have people have a sip of him, which is the knowledge and the new covenant thereof. But the old wineskins are refusing to shed their old wineskins and become anew to be able to contain the new wine, right? There's the religious aspect of it. What I'm trying to say to you guys, right, as the interpretation, is that all the things of the world, everything, like even the successes of your parents, right? The successes of the people around you, what people believe in, right? What is attractive, what isn't attractive. These are all things of an old world. These are all things that you used to believe and used to hallow and used to covet, which formed your old wineskin. And I'm telling you that the things of the new wineskin, the new body, the new vessel that is created through your practices of discipline, intense sexual discipline, creates the new wine to be extracted from the experiences that you go through as you have this new wineskin put on, right? As it's fortified, and you are able to have the binding and the union of the new wine and the new wineskin, right? You need to go through semen retention. You need to go through this discipline. This practice renews your blood. It renews everything about you. I'm gonna tell you guys in my personal experience. I don't know if you guys saw my older videos, but I'm currently 6 months in the practice. Right, I've retained for a really long time, and I've learned a lot, man. I'm not gonna lie, I learned so much this time around. My longest streak was 1 year and 2 months, and like currently I'm 6 months. I'm gonna tell you guys that for the people that are constantly thinking, oh, 1 week is enough, or I wish I can even get a month and all this kind of stuff, you need to stop looking at the numbers. There is no issue with the practice that you're undertaking in order to rise on semen retention, in order to ascend, in order to improve. you are going to make mistakes. You have to understand you are trying to extract new wine from this new powerful transcendental experience offered to us since the beginning of time, by the way, into your old wineskins, your old ways of thinking, which is, I have to be of the world. I have to be taken on to marriage with someone just because I need to be married, because my parents told me I need to get married. I need to find anyone else. It doesn't matter who they are. It doesn't matter where they're from. It doesn't matter what they drink, what they eat, what their genetic proclivities towards mental disorders and chronic disorders are. That doesn't matter. I just need to get married. I just need to do it, right? Because that's the thing to do. That's old wineskin behavior. That is past world, old world behavior, which is destined to pass away. These things cannot last. And when you have the power of, when you have the knowledge of semen retention, even the understanding that celibacy brings you strength, it brings you astuteness, cleverness, it makes you an erudite of the world and of the things that happen already in the world. It makes you more faithful to a higher power, more understanding of something beyond yourself, something beyond the physical world. You are now shedding that old skin. You are now donning the new wineskin. You have that understanding in your head. You cannot go back to the old world. The old world will fade away to you. You cannot interact in the old world how you used to. Rolling up in an Irish bar, trying to get maybe sparkling water, is what I do, and you think that these people are gonna talk to you or feel compelled to share information with you, just in general about their lives. They will not do it. They cannot do it because there is of no relation, because you don't walk the same paths anymore. The moment semen retention enters your mental orbit, it is over. The old world will fade. Every single experience that you will have there on out, whether you actively practice semen retention or you do not actively practice semen retention, you will be penalized, you will be punished. Everything is a learning experience. You are now going to be chastened by the higher power because you have found the practice, because it was destiny. Many people in this world don't practice. It doesn't matter what culture they're from. Let's call it what it is. Men do not practice celibacy because they're of the old world, the old wineskin mentality, which is you have to get successful, which success means X, Y, and Z, all physical, all basis things, to do A, B, and C, which are all physical, all basis things, to dominate, to control, to manipulate, to have vantage point over, to conceal information from, to obfuscate the path to enlightenment from. This is their way. This is the old wineskin way. Success, when you finally accept the gift of semen retention from the higher power, is you're learning information to share information, not to conceal it from people, because everyone deserves enlightenment. Everyone deserves to get better. You get information to unlock, to reveal, to showcase, to broadcast, to emit. That is what you learn information for when you have donned the new wineskin, or when you are developing the new wineskin. You have to understand, the semen retention practice is not just a physical practice, but it is a vibration, it is a frequency, it is an energy. And the more that your body starts to vibrate and emit this frequency, the more you're going to be at odds with the world. You will attract darkness because you need to learn how to triumph over darkness and go through darkness without having it siphon onto your soul. The practices that you will go through in semen retention, when you have donned the new wineskin and you are intaking the new wine into the wineskin, which is the power of semen retention and all the grand, powerful, overarching, close to omniscient experiences and understanding that you will gain, right? You will have to go through darkness. For there is no such thing as being a perfect student, being a perfect ascetic, without having to deal with darkness. Darkness is inevitable. Darkness is the majority of the nature of this world. People are inclined to manipulate. You need to understand, it doesn't matter where they're from, it doesn't matter how they speak to you, how eloquent they are, how much Loro Piana they wear with the Giorgio Armani and the Oscar de la Renta. It does not matter how clean cut their nails are. It doesn't matter about any of that. All of that is an outer facade and is trying to delude you into believing and equating that their outside value is equal to their inside value. If you were able to look at the inside of a person, which you develop, by the way, the longer you get on semen retention, the longer you understand the precepts that God is teaching you through that discipline of austerity measures, you see people for exactly who they are. There's a feeling you understand. It's almost, let's talk, I'm gonna get a little sidetracked here. George Lucas and Star Wars, this was based off of his faith, by the way, to God. You need to understand that. Luke is a book from the Bible. Anakin, the chosen one, he was meant to mimic Jesus. Remember, because his mother was Shmi, by the way, short for Lakshmi, which is part of the Hindu faith. She birthed Anakin without a father. It's the same parallels as Jesus Christ. Anakin, the thing is, Anakin became a crooked savior. He was meant, well, he actually fulfilled his directive at the end, but he had to go through the dark side to do it, which actually proves my point further. You need to incorporate both the forces of light and understand the forces of darkness in order to become enlightened, in order to become stronger, in order to ascend. The only way to this height is through a grueling chastening by the divine through the medium of semen retention. You need to understand this. The more disciplined you are going to receive more and harder tests, because you're trying to be made anew. Your new wine, it has to flow into a very powerful, robust new wineskin. You need to be fixed. There was things in the Bible, of course, this is the early part of the New Testament when Jesus was talking to his disciples and he told them, this is what's gonna go down. Many will come in my name, professing that they are Christ. They are not. Many will profess that the end days are coming. This is where it's gonna happen. This is where it's gonna happen. Listen to them not. Many will be made white, right? Hold on. He said, many will be made white. Many will change their raiment, but the wicked will continue to do wickedly. We are not meant to be saviors. We are not meant to be heroes. The only saving we're supposed to do is walking in the new vibration, with the new wine, in the new wineskin amongst the people of the world, and not accepting their ways. No matter where you go in the world, you do not accept their ways unless it is that of renunciation. If there's a religion that asks you to give things up in order for a higher faith, that is the religion to follow, which is the one of God. He asks you to give your old life up, give up the old wineskins in order to ascend. Ascension is the only important task. It doesn't matter what these people tell you and how many riches they have. The darkness it's very easy for these guys to get rich. Very, very simple, because manipulation runs in their genetic code because they have not cleared it due to them evading the process of becoming white. So I'm telling you guys, that we're not gonna even get too much into that, but this is all what I have to say. Ultimately, guys, renew yourselves, throw away the old wineskins, don the new wineskin, drink the new wine, not literally, drinking is for the heathen, and become renewed, I'm telling you. And the way to that is through semen retention. Let's get it, guys. I love you all. If you enjoy that content, like, comment, subscribe, share the video with peers. Don't ever let this place get you down. This world is so, you need to become wise. I'm telling you, you need to become wise and become hip to the ways that this world tries to affect you. These people are very good at spotting who's on their way to getting new wineskins and new wine and who's not. They are very, very good at spotting you. I'm telling you. And through the very clever, calculated, strategic, tactful questions and comments they fire your way, they can easily glean what level of your new wineskin and new wine you're at. You need to become hip. Anyone that tells you to forego what you're doing, your disciplines, in order for worldly pleasures, sex, alcohol, drugs, marijuana, tobacco, which eludes and innervates the body and separates your connection with God, you have to let them go. It doesn't matter how good they look. It doesn't matter how tempting their words are. It doesn't matter how eloquent they are. They're so sophisticated now. They were sophisticated in the ways of Paul. If it doesn't, you need to become hip. Listen to exactly what they're saying. Listen to your spirit. If it's something is off, if they're telling you to go into the world and feel the pleasures thereof and forego your discipline, it is incorrect. We are supposed to be walking with complete faith and complete abstinence from everything. No alcohol, no drugs, no weed, no hooking up, none of that. You don't use their things. You don't go to their events. You don't go to their parties. You walk through the world. You walk through it, retain, and you constantly try to build and grow. That's the only thing you should aim after. Always do the right thing. Be disciplined. please have your austerity measures upon the self. I love you all, I really do. Stay radiant. I'm gonna see you guys in the next video.